If you are a business owner who accepts credit cards, there are many eyes watching you. Daily you receive telemarketing calls from companies promising huge savings, even without knowing what you're currently paying. You're inundated with claims and counterclaims of savings. Credit card pricing seems complex and confusing. How do you know what your processing rates really are? Who do you trust? Have you been told any of these claims?
We are a direct processor for Visa, MasterCard, and Discover.
Or we bypass the middlemen others pay for?
We originate processing fees.
We sell our originated fees to banks, which add a fee and resell to all other processors at a higher rate.
We can buy down Visa, MasterCard, and Discover rates.
We offer a flat rate of 1%.
We offer 0.5%.
Our processing rate is 1.46%.
Our processing rate is 1.35%.
These claims are frequently made falsely by companies who defraud businesses of hundreds or thousands of dollars. One of the most egregious frauds commonly perpetrated against businesses involves leasing credit card processing terminals. Often this fraud begins with a sales agent telling you, the business owner, that your current terminal is not PCI compliant, that it does not meet the technical industry compliance standards, and that you can be fined hundreds or thousands of dollars for every transaction you make on such a PCI non-compliant machine. Almost universally, the terminal alleged to be non-compliant was absolutely PCI compliant all along.
Another variation of this scam is to tell you that the lease is really not a lease as such, but is rather a service fee, which can even buy down or otherwise cover and replace down ordinary processing fees otherwise to be paid. This is patently false. A lease is a lease, and no lease can buy down any such rates. Yet another variation is to tell you that to obtain certain low rates, you must lease a terminal. Yet again, you may be told that only certain terminals that you must lease from their company will run on their systems. Both are false.
Occasionally, some very novel reasons are presented to induce a lease. We've heard one company sales agent claim that a certain terminal owned by a business was known to frequently blow up while being downloaded with software programming to run it. One other very novel fraud involved telling a business owner that within a short period of time, all U.S. credit cards were being switched from Stripe encryption to a smart card. So a terminal machine to read a smart card required a slot into which the credit card would be inserted. However, the slotted machine, which the agent was going to lease to this business, had only a slot in it, with no hardware inside to read such a card and no software program to run the non-existent hardware. These various false statements are designed to induce you to lease a terminal. Why? Not because you need it, but to enrich the sales agent and his company. Here is how.
The lease is not with the sales agent's company, but with a third-party lease company. The lease is typically for 48 to 60 months. The leasing company pays a huge part of the value of the lease to the merchant service provider. If the lease is set for $100 per month for 48 months, the value of the lease is $4,800. The leasing company pays upward of $3,700 to the merchant service provider. Terminals can be leased for varying payment fee rates independent of the value of the terminal according to how much money the sales agent wishes to make on his sale. An agent may lease a terminal to one business for $40 per month and the very same model terminal to another business for $200 per month or any amount in between, or higher in some cases. Higher payments simply mean immediate higher profits without any higher cost or liability to the leasing company and the merchant service provider.
The lease is non-cancelable because the leasing company has paid for it in advance. Moreover, most leasing companies function only as a finance company. They do not even provide the terminal to the business, which is provided instead by the merchant service provider. If you find this shocking, consider that most terminals which run on a phone line, called dial-up, cost less than $150 to buy outright. Internet-run terminals are generally less than $300 to buy. Many business owners have paid upward of $10,000, that's $200 per month for 48 months, for a terminal that could be bought for $300.
Merchants have been told that terminals cost $1,500 or more to buy and set up. Setup refers to downloading the terminal. This is an artificially inflated price well above industry standards. It's designed to induce a lease, often at even higher cost. Many victims of these scams find themselves in a catch-22 when they find that they've been defrauded and attempt to cancel their lease. The merchant service provider that actually signed them up for the lease curtly informs the business owner that the lease is not with them, but a separate company with which they need to deal, even though this is the same company that made the proposition in the first place and obtained their signature. When thereupon calling the leasing company, they are told that the leasing company had nothing to do with signing them up, and they will simply enforce the terms of the signed contract.
So, therefore, an artificial wall of separation has been created between the leasing company and the sales company that signed businesses up. This attempts to obscure and absolve either side from bearing responsibility. The business owner is informed that he is himself totally responsible for his contractual signature alone by both parties. So there are many other ways you can be victimized by those who would raid your bank account to unjustly enrich themselves. As a business owner, you must and can take just a few minutes to learn in simple language the 4 ways you can be priced for accepting credit cards, and the only pricing that is transparent and used by all major corporations in the United States and is available to you. You will learn to be able to read your own statement yourself, rather than rely on someone else to explain it for you.